Back again. Back with another disappointing video. I really don't like to do these videos, honestly. I haven't done one in a super long time, and I'm going to call some people out during this video. And I'm going to actually tell you why we actually need legal representation when it comes to corporations and companies under said corporation who like to put out nonsense. One thing I got from this that just made me, it just cracked me up from the beginning, right? Game may be unable to boot despite meeting the minimum system requirements. So even if you met the minimum system requirements, the game still might not be able to boot. Like, who is actually behind these ideas for said companies and corporations? Naughty Dog, you have dropped the ball. And this is like the first time I actually have anything to say bad about the company. Like, I had to check myself. I'm like, do I really want to make this video? They made one bad mistake. What should I actually make this video? And I came down to a concrete answer, and the answer was like, yes, ultimately make the video. Not because it's content, because I don't usually do that. Like, I don't jump on gaming news, right? This is kind of late gaming news, but I don't jump on gaming news just to make the content. I have to feel passionate about it. But one thing that I read that made me want to jump in it even more was The Last of Us Part 1 PC players. We know some of you have not experienced the Naughty Dog quality you expected. How do you not know that? How don't you know that? And first of all, this is what happens when you have a game, right? That's how old? I don't know. Since PlayStation 3, right? I would believe so. Since PlayStation 3, right? The game is not more beautiful than Horizon. The game is not more beautiful than God of War, right? It's a remake, right? We seen who was it, Bluepoint do a remake of Demon Souls, right? So I don't see a reason why this port should have been so demanding on a PC. What killed me was, this is what happens when you make a game for the top 1% of the 1% for PC. Basically, I need video RAM, what was it, 32 gigs? So I need at least above, so I would say 48 just to give me some space, 56 to give me more. But shoot, might as well stretch it out to 100 and something gigs so you can have leg room. And then basically you need a 4090. The 4090, I don't know too many people who have 4090s except for like big time YouTubers. So you're making a game geared towards the top 1% of gaming and PC. I don't think that's actually smart. I don't think it's smart, right? And then thank God for the Steam refund. They have the best refund policy of all time, right? So thank God for PC and Steam, right? But at the same time, I don't actually see why the game should be full price. Tell me, why should you pay full price for a game that is horrible, right? My major question is, Naughty Dog, how didn't you know? How didn't you know? It should be every game in PC from 2070 Supers, the 3000 series, all the way up to the 40s. And then, you have AMD and whatever they do. Because I'm not really big in AMD. I'm a NVIDIA boy. So, how don't you know? At the end of the day, it's just like I tell people in my family, it's no excuses, especially when you're dealing with big money decisions like that. It's no excuses. So, all right, you're going to throw me a patch. Right, you're gonna throw me a patch, and then the game is going to magically become better. No, I shouldn't be a beta tester for your game. Now, if you said this is early access, I'm like, all right, Ralph, you're just gonna have to deal with the early access. All right, they did it for the finals. Even though I think it's laughable, Multiverses just said they're pulling the game because it was early access, even though people spend hundreds of dollars on said early access. At least they like, hey, it's early access. What you want us to do? No, you came out with the product and said it was full-fledged, done. Here you go. So you're going to have to get every smoke that's coming your way, Naughty Dog. And I have smoke for Sony fanboys later on in the video, but just bear with me. Any company that deals with Iron Galaxy, the people who put out what Arkham Knight, you should be fired. Why is Sony buying Nexus if you're dealing with Iron Galaxy? That makes me think Nexus was they were busy. They have another project on their hands. They couldn't send some people over, and I thought Sony was organic. This is what the organic. If we're so damn organic, why are we bringing in Iron Galaxy to boot a PC port? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It reminds me of the Grove Street mishap with the GTA trilogy. It's horrible decision making on every corporate level. Before we get to the Sony fanboy bashing, this is why I'm asking, do we actually need consumer protection for this? Because it's starting to get be the Wild Wild West. Some stuff needs to be reined in. Some systems and checks need to be put in so we can be protected as consumers. Now, I know back in the day, gaming wasn't the way it is now. It's more complex. It takes more time, takes more money. But I don't remember a lot of the games from back in the day just being broken. Just being I mean, from even the Twisted Metal to Ridge Racer, I don't remember me purchasing or my parents purchasing a disc at that time and me plopping it in my PlayStation or Dreamcast on and the game just is broken. Now this gets me to the point why we need actually consumer protection. How many times are we gonna go through this as gamers? Now, if this was on PlayStation, right? How many of y'all would be guaranteed a refund? How many? If the game was trash, how many of us would be able to return said game? I don't think a lot of us would be happy throwing away certain amount of money. What is it? 70 in Canadian money, 60 here. It might be 70 pounds in the UK. Like, so we're just throwing away money and time to these corporations, and what their PR is going to say is, we're sorry for your inconvenience. I don't want to hear that anymore as a gamer. Just get it right the first time. Just get it right the first time. So when I download it or plop it in the system, it's fine. Then you don't have to backpedal because of the reviews is drowning you. Then you got to put up a front like you care. If you cared, you would have tested the game before it came out. This is not only, it's starting to become a major thing with PC ports. Now, shout out to the indie devs. Shout out to the devs who actually care about putting things like Capcom, Resident Evil 4 remake. Shout out to them. The game runs flawlessly. There's no problems with that at all. At all. So when I see games like The Last of Us being ported basically from PlayStation to PC, man, now I was always one of those dudes like, man, I can't wait till we get Ghost of Tsushima. I can't wait till we get a lot of other games. But nowadays, I'm sitting up there like, just keep it on PlayStation. I got a PlayStation. Just keep it on PlayStation. Even if PC gamers have to suffer for the lack of love and TLC that you have to put into a PC port, maybe we should just have to ante up and get a PlayStation 5, which I already do, which most of you should have if you're watching this channel because it's readily available now. Now, besides the consumer protection, I would like to get at a lot of Sony people. King Thrash, I didn't watch the video, but I can feel the vibe from the video, right? I can feel it just through the phone. Same. I haven't listened to J-Tech's opinion on this, right? But I'm willing to. I'm willing to have a panel about this because we shouldn't be basically having a shouting match between PC and PlayStation, right? PC dudes love control. They love being able to control the lighting, the graphics, mods, all of this stuff. Right? It's just not the section that J-Tech loves to say that people still they love to steal games. It's not that. I pay for every PC game that I own, except for like games back in 96 or 2002 you can't get anymore. Right? But at the same time, I'm willing to pay $60 for the PC board because I know the mod community is probably going to do it up. That's why I own all the Rezzies on Steam, because I know the mod community is going to big it up. So when I actually see communities trashing each other one after one, Microsoft and they're trashing Sony because the Activision go, if they're signing a 10-year deal, trust me, a lot of you guys aren't even going to be alive in 10 years. If they're signing a 10-year deal, what does that do for you today? Nothing. So please put the pom-poms down for a corporation who doesn't pay your bills or your mortgage. It's stupid. That's why I left the whole console thing back and forth, because there's no point to even address it anymore. At a certain point in time, we have to stop doing each other a disservice and have each other's back. Because if it's not going to be done to one of us, it's going to be done to one of us. Period. It's going to happen to one class of us. It doesn't matter if it's Nintendo, because Nintendo could care about hardware. They could care less. I don't care about an OLED screen. I want actually new hardware that's powerful. So guess what? I don't got to go anywhere for anything else. But since I do have a Switch, all right, Smash Bros. It is, and Mario Odyssey, Zelda, Metroid, and that's it. That's it. Other things, I can go somewhere else. PC, I do a multitude of things. Right? PlayStation, exclusives, some third parties. Microsoft, Xbox, when you start getting games, let me know. But other than that, we should have each other's back. I have Microsoft gamers back. I mean Xbox players back. If you wanted to scream about getting more games faster, I'm there with you. PlayStation, if you want to, pom go against a live service games that Sony keeps talking about, I'm there with you. Nintendo people, you want a new version of the Switch? I'm there with you. But the whole going back and forth, the food fight stuff, instead of saying things like we need consumer protection against corporations and companies that deliver products that not only are a waste of money, but are a waste of time. That's the conversation we should be headed in. Because at a certain point, how many times are we going to get dogged by a certain company? CD Projekt Red, Rockstar, and now Naughty Dog. Man, this is Ralph Angel, man. I represent Tech University. I'm one of the major players over here, but this is depressing.